we're going to be looking at something kind of tough.
Yeah.
Crime statistic.
It's a big one.
It is. It is. And specifically, we're looking at interracial crime in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh boy, this is a topic that gets a lot of people riled up, and there's so much misinformation out there.
Absolutely. And it's so easy to get caught up in emotions, especially with a topic as sensitive as this.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing this deep dive,
Yeah.
to like really try to cut through the noise.
Get to the facts.
Yeah. And so one of our listeners sent in a YouTube video titled The Uncomfortable Truth About Black on White Crime. And just that title alone,
Yeah, it's interesting how that title kind of primes you, before you even see any of the data.
Right. It's like they're already pushing a certain narrative.
Exactly. And that's something we always have to be mindful of, who's presenting the information and what their agenda might be. Are they trying to inform or are they trying to persuade?
Yeah. And you know what's funny? The excerpts that our listener sent over didn't actually have any crime statistics in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's kind of like we got the clickbaity title, but not the actual substance.
That's strange. So it's hard to even say what kind of point the full video is trying to make without, the actual data.
Right. It's a mystery box for now.
Yeah.
But it does bring up an important question. Like, if we're going to talk about crime statistics, where do we even find reliable data?
That is the question, isn't it? Because, it's not as simple as just Googling it.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to make sure you're getting your information from credible sources.
Like who?
Well, the gold standard is probably the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program, the UCR.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, they've been collecting data on crime for like almost a century.
Wow.
So they've got pretty comprehensive information, like breaking down different types of offenses and demographics and everything.
So it's not just about the numbers themselves, but understanding the context around them.
Precise. You could have two cities with the same number of reported assault, but if one city has double the population, well, that changes the picture completely.
Yeah. It's like comparing apples and oranges.
Exactly. And another thing to keep in mind is the date.
Oh, yeah. The YouTube video said it was copyrighted in 2025.
Right. So that's important because societies change, laws change, reporting practices change.
So what was true then might not be true now.
Exactly. Crime statistics are like a snapshot in time. So we always got to consider how much things have shifted since that snapshot was taken.
So we got to be careful about drawing conclusions based on outdated information.
Absolutely. And even with the most up-to-date data, you got to be wary of people cherry-picking statistics to support their own agenda.
Right. Like focusing on one specific number without giving the full context.
Exactly. You can make statistics say just about anything if you twist them hard enough.
So it sounds like critical thinking is key here.
Absolutely. You can't just take anything you see at face value. You got to dig deeper, question the source, look for the full picture.
And remember, folks, this is a topic that touches on some very sensitive issues.
For sure.
So it's especially important to be respectful and to avoid making generalizations, about entire groups of people based on statistics.
Absolutely. You can't reduce individuals to just data points, Everyone has their own story.
Well said. Okay, so it seems like we've hit a bit of a roadblock with this YouTube video. No actual data, just a really provocative title.
Yeah, it's a shame because it could have been a really interesting discussion, but without the data, it's hard to even know what the video is actually arguing.
Right. It's all speculation at this point. But hey, you know what? This actually illustrates a really important point that we've been talking about all along. The importance of being critical of the information we consume.
Absolutely. Just because something has a catchy title or sounds shocking doesn't make it true.
We got to do our own research, look for evidence, and not just blindly accept whatever we're told.
You got it. And to our listener who sent in this video, thank you for bringing up such a challenging topic.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And even though we couldn't really dive into the specifics this time, hopefully this conversation is giving you some food for thought.
Definitely. And here's something for y'all to think about. Even with the best data in the world, understanding crime and its causes is complex.
Right. It's not a simple equation.
It's about human behavior, societal forces, history, a whole web of interconnected factors that we may never fully untangle.
So the next time you see a headline about crime, take a moment to consider, what's the story behind the numbers?
And who's telling that story?
And what might they be leaving out?
Exactly. Keep those critical thinking caps on, folks.
All right, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Until next time.
Stay curious.
And stay informed.
See ya.
Bye.
This time we're looking at, I don't know about you, but this one's kind of intense.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at the relationship between Black American and the two major political parties.
The big two.
The big two in America.
Yeah.
And
right.
Our source material.
This is a fun one.
It's a video boldly titled
Yeah.
The Democratic Slave Master, MP4.
Oh.
I know, right off the bat.
Right.
That title's a lot to unpack.
A lot to unpack.
The video itself uses some strong language and imagery.
Yeah,
We're here to understand
that's right.
the perspective it presents,
The perspective being presented.
not to endorse any political viewpoint.
Right. We're all about exploring ideas.
Exactly.
Even the controversial ones.
Even the ones that make us
Can't make you feel a little... Yeah.
Yeah. So let's dive in. Let's just dive into it.
To the core
Yeah, the core.
of this video's argument.
It claims that
This is a big
the
one.
Democratic Party,
Mhm.
despite how it's seen today,
Right.
is actually the party of slavery.
Wow.
And that this slavery
Okay.
has evolved from physical chains
Right.
to a more insidious
Yeah.
mental and emotional control
So,
over Black Americans.
mental and emotional slavery.
That's heavy stuff.
That's heavy stuff.
It is.
It is. And the video tries to support this by digging into history.
How do they support that?
So,
Yeah.
they claim that Republicans were the true liberators,
Okay.
ending slavery
Right.
and pushing for civil rights,
Mm-hmm.
pointing to figures like Lincoln
Okay.
and the Republican-dominated Congress of the 1960s.
Right. They even say there was a party switch
That party switch idea,
where Black support seemingly flipped,
it's fascinating.
but that the Democrats just changed tactics, not their core beliefs.
Yeah. It's debated among historians.
Oh, really?
Showing how differently people can interpret the past.
Wow.
But the video doesn't stop there.
They go further.
It goes on to specifically target
Uh-huh.
LBJ's Great Society programs.
Right. Saying those programs weren't about helping Black Americans, but about
Right.
creating dependency,
Creating dependency, making them reliant.
making them reliant on the Democrats
Mhm.
to keep getting those benefits.
To keep getting those benefits, yeah.
And that ties into a bigger argument
That's right.
that we hear sometimes.
But we hear
Do
sometimes.
social safety nets
It's a good question.
help people get back on their feet?
Right.
Or do they trap them in a cycle of reliance?
Do they trap them in a cycle of reliance?
The video definitely leans toward the latter view.
The video definitely leans toward the latter view.
Like they're saying,
Yeah.
the chains are still there, just not the physical kind. Instead, it's identity politics. Social justice movements,
There's a-
things Democrats supposedly use
Right.
to control Black voters,
Well,
pushing policies that actually harm them
yeah.
in the long run.
In the long run,
It's like heavy
yeah,
stuff.
like saying you're
Right.
trapped. The video even uses the metaphor
Yeah.
of escaping a plant
Wow.
to describe Black Americans leaving the Democratic Party.
Okay.
Imagine facing backlash being pulled back into the fold.
No.
It's powerful imagery, especially considering the history of slavery.
For sure.
Right.
And to really drive it home.
The video
Certainly
creepily
make it personal.
shares their own
They
story,
share their own story.
going from Democrat to Republican.
Going from Democrat to Republican.
They talk about feeling ostracized, even betrayed, which they claim proves the Democrats want to control
Right.
how Black think and act.
That personal touch is interesting.
It's a powerful, individual stories can be really compelling,
Yeah.
but it's crucial to remember they don't always represent
Yeah.
the experiences
It's just one
of
story.
the whole group.
Right.
Uh,
Absolutely. And that's where things start to get tricky for me.
Interesting.
On one hand,
Yeah.
it's raising questions about power,
Yeah.
about who benefits from certain policies. But on the other hand,
Yeah.
is it fair to paint an entire party
Right.
and the Black Americans who support them
Mm-hmm.
with such a broad brush? I'm already feeling like
That's a good question.
there's more nuance here
Yeah.
than the video lets on.
You're spot on. And that's why we're here
Yeah.
to delve deeper. In the next part, we'll unpack some of the historical claims
Yeah.
this video makes.
Yeah.
See if they hold up under closer scrutiny.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've heard the video's take on this whole
Mhm.
Democratic slave master idea, and it hinges a lot
All right.
on the
What-
history of the two parties.
Yeah.
But I got to admit, I'm skeptical.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really accurate to say
Well,
the Republicans were the only ones fighting for Black Americans,
Right.
while the Democrats were holding them back?
Yeah.
It just seems too neat and tidy.
History is rarely that simple.
Right.
So let's start with the video's big claim
Okay.
that Republicans single-handedly ended slavery
Mm-hmm.
and pushed for civil rights.
Right.
Now, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican,
He was.
and the Emancipation Proclamation was a huge TE step.
Yes, it was.
But to say it was all Republicans and no Democrats
Right.
is a bit misleading.
Okay, so it's not as black and white as the video makes it sound.
Not at all. You got to remember, the political landscape back then
Yeah.
was totally different.
Okay.
Parties change over time, their ideas shift.
Mm-hmm.
The Republican Party of Lincoln's day was considered progressive,
Okay.
especially on abolition. Right.
But things evolved.
Yeah.
And those stances on race and civil rights,
Uh-huh.
well, they evolved too.
The video also hammered on about
Yeah,
Jim Crow laws being a Democrat thing.
right.
It's hard to imagine the party that's so vocal about civil rights today
I know.
being the same one behind those discriminatory laws.
Yeah, that's where understanding the nuances of history is key.
Nuances.
The Democratic Party, especially in the South during Reconstruction, and Jim Crow
Okay.
was a very different beast
All right.
from the National Party we see today.
Okay.
A lot of Southern Democrats were deeply opposed to racial equality. And sadly,
Yeah.
they used their power to enforce those oppressive systems.
So the video is cherry-picking history to fit its narrative.
It does seem that way.
Wow.
It's like looking at a single puzzle piece without seeing the whole picture.
Right.
We need the broader historical context
Right.
to really understand what was going on.
That makes
Yeah.
But what about
The Civil Rights Act of 1964.
the Civil Rights Act?
The video claimed it passed mainly because of Republican support,
Right.
even though a Democratic president, LBJ, signed it.
A truly pivotal moment.
It was.
And you know what? It wasn't just a one-party show.
Okay.
While many Republicans, particularly in the House, voted for it.
Okay.
Northern Democrats and civil rights activists had been fighting for it for years.
Wow.
It was a hard-won battle,
Yeah.
a mix of political strategy and genuine belief in equality.
So it was more of a team effort than the video makes it seem.
Definitely there was political maneuvering on all sides.
Yeah.
But the point is,
Right.
reducing it to a simple Republicans good, Democrats bad story
Yeah.
just doesn't reflect the complexity of that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about those Great Society programs.
Right.
The video paints them as this calculated scheme
Okay.
by LBJ to create a whole class of Black Americans dependent on the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I buy it.
It's a controversial claim, no doubt.
Right.
There's a long-running debate about government assistance.
Yeah.
Do these programs help people become self-sufficient?
Uh-huh.
Or do they trap them in a cycle of needing handouts?
The video definitely seems to think it's the latter.
It seems
Like LBJ was pulling some Machiavellian strings.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing. Those Great Society programs
Yeah.
weren't just for Black Americans. They were aimed at fighting poverty and inequality across the board.
Right.
Medicare, Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
These initiatives helped millions of Americans, regardless of race.
Yeah, the video makes it seem like these were targeted
Right.
exclusively at Black communities.
Yeah.
Which we now know isn't the case.
Exactly. It's about looking at the bigger picture.
Okay.
Of course, no massive government program is without its complexities and debates.
Right.
But we need to consider the whole social and economic context.
Yeah.
Not just a narrow interpretation.
Okay, so we've seen how the video uses history to build its argument.
Mm-hmm.
But what about those more symbolic arguments?
Right.
Like that slave master metaphor
Okay.
for the Democratic Party. It's a pretty loaded image.
Right. That metaphor is deliberately provocative.
Uh-huh.
It's meant to draw a direct line from the horrors of physical slavery to what the video claims is a more insidious form of control
Yeah.
happening today.
And that control, they argue, comes through things like identity politics
Okay.
and social justice movement.
Now, the whole idea of identity politics is a minefield.
Yeah.
Some see it as a vital tool for marginalized groups to fight for their rights,
Okay.
while others view it as a force that divides us.
Right. The video seems to be saying the Democrats are weaponizing these movements for their own gain.
Right.
But is it that simple?
I think it's dangerous to assume that any party or even any community
Yeah.
has a single unified view on things like race, identity,
Right.
and political strategy.
That's true. Black Americans are not a monolith. There's a spectrum of opinions within the Black community,
Yeah.
just like anywhere else.
And reducing those complexities to a single narrative of manipulation is not only inaccurate,
Yeah.
but it also risks silencing those diverse voices.
Okay, so we've unpacked the history and those more symbolic claims, but there's still this lingering question.
Yeah.
What are the broader implications
Right.
of framing this conversation
Yeah.
in such a stark and divisive way?
Yeah.
It feels like it could do more harm than good.
It's a good question.